People often talk about diversity as being important for marginalized communities, peoples of color, for example, people of different backgrounds. But I want to emphasize that certainly at Fordham University, and I think in our society as a whole, diversity is something that benefits all of us. Being exposed to people from different backgrounds, being able to interact with people with different experiences is something that we all learn from and makes all of our lives better. And I think you could see it if you look at the historical record. So for example, before I came to Fordham, I was a historian and a professor for many years at the University of California. And one of the things we experienced at the University of California was the fact that as the student body became more diverse, it also became stronger academically. And you could see this from a number of different metrics. You could see, for example, the rise in SAT scores as we brought in more students from more different backgrounds. You could see the rise in GPAs, both at the high school level for students who were applying to the University of California, and also students who were in the University of California and the grades they got in their university classes. So far from representing a weakening of the strength of the university, bringing in students from different backgrounds strengthened the university. It brought more people who had better skills, more people who had different experiences to share, and more people who could create a better experience for everybody in the university. It also made it more competitive, which in many ways was challenging to all students, but ultimately that was to the good because it meant that people were inspired to do their best. And this was true not just of students, but also of faculty. If you looked at many different departments, for example, as they became more diverse in terms of hiring their faculty, those faculty were also stronger in terms of publications, in terms of records, in terms of their general impacts on their field. You would have faculty from different backgrounds that would become leaders in their fields, in fact would become the creators of entirely new fields of scholarship that had not been explored because nobody had really thought in those terms before. A diverse educational experience is especially important for Fordham graduates when they leave this university and go out into the world to make their mark and to make a contribution. Fordham is a university that emphasizes the Jesuit value of cura personalis, of the training of the whole person and training the whole person to make a difference in society. And I think that diversity is absolutely fundamental to enabling students to do that, enabling our former students who are now our colleagues and our professionals in our society to really make this a better world to live in. You cannot understand the problems people are experiencing in the world unless you can speak their language, in effect, unless you can understand where they are coming from and how they see the world. So for example, Chevy Motor Company was trying to market the Nova automobile in Latin America, and they didn't understand why nobody wanted to buy it until somebody explained to them that in Spanish, Nova means doesn't run. So that's one concrete example of how knowing your clientele, knowing your community, which you get from having experiences with members of that community while you're being educated at Fordham, is going to be of benefit to you and help you make a mark on that community, on the world as a whole, after you leave this university. So we see diversity as a crucial part of training our students to succeed in the world. My experience as a professor, as a university administrator, even as a student, has been that the more I was able to interact with people from a diversity of backgrounds, of a diversity of experiences, the more I was able to learn. And the better impact I had on the university and on society as a whole. For me, therefore, diversity and excellence are not contradictory values. They are values that go together. And I really want to emphasize that because at times people believe that diversity is something that happens at the expense of excellence. My experience has been the exact opposite. Diversity is something that reinforces and creates excellence, and that is why, even beyond its importance for social justice, it is vitally important to a university like Fordham, which strives to be excellent in all fields.